Well, you know what they say. All good things must come to an end, and sadly, that right there can be said for prison school. Finally, we have reached the end. Episode 12 is now out, of course, and of course, I just finished watching it, which is why I'm doing this review. And I will say, I will definitely miss reviewing this series every Friday, because to be honest, I love Prison School. This anime to me was like freaking fantastic, and I will definitely miss it. But overall, this episode, it was a wonderful finale, and of course, you cannot ask for nothing more, because to me, it ended off on such a good note that it definitely made me want to, now go out and read the manga. But we see now that at the beginning of the episode, we still have Hana still killing Kiyoshi, and right now, he was like finding it hard to breathe, but at the same time, Hana for some reason was like holding her breath as well, and so we see now that even though Kiyoshi, had like forced her off of him, she still did not give up, for like wanting, to kiss him. And then we see that when Kiyoshi was like questioning her about, why she is doing this or why she is so, determined to kiss him, we see now that she was like, she still wants to see him pee. And to me, that right there is definitely a little bit disturbing. But we see now that when he was like turning her down again, we actually have her punching him so hard that he went flying back and actually slammed into the door. And of course, we have Chiyo, who was still waiting for the signal so that way she can go inside and do what she had to. And so we see now that because of that, at one point, after Chiyo had heard that door slam, of course, we're like wondering what was like going on inside, and then we have her now, getting the idea to look into that room, and that right there would have been, a very bad idea, because of course, if Chiyo actually caught him kissing Hana like that, that right there would have ruined everything that they worked so hard for. And so now because of that, we have once again Hana and Kiyoshi kissing, but this time Kiyoshi, he actually took control, and so we see now that he realized that Hana, she has no idea what she's doing. Pretty much Hana is definitely, she can definitely be considered pure, even though she is rather violent. And so, of course, when Kiyoshi had realized that what she was doing was like more like a child kiss than a real one, because in his mind, a real kiss, or at least for the first kiss, it was a lot more like a lot more lewd than the one he was experiencing right now. And so, because of that, he actually got the bright idea on how to like take control, and that's when he actually forced his tongue into her mouth, and that right there caught Hana off guard completely. And so now going back to the rest of the guys, we have Four Eyes, who were like thinking on his past a little bit, and he actually recalled this conversation between him and Kiyoshi one day. And so right now, in this like little flashback, we have Four Eyes. He was talking to Kiyoshi about some kind of general who was like surrounded by all these enemies, but because this guy had like pushed forward, he was actually able to make this retreat route for his men, and to this day, that right there was called the flight of Shimazu. Hopefully I'm saying that right, but because of that, like all these guys thought that, maybe Four Eyes was like talking to himself, because it seemed that Kiyoshi was not listening to him, because she asked him about his favorite member of a popular idol group, but of course Four Eyes is not into that, because all this guy cares about are the four generals and times like that. And so now we learn actually that Kiyoshi here, he actually would pay attention to him, and that's what Kiyoshi said. This right here is like his own version of the flight of Shimazu. And because of that, and like what he was doing, he actually pushed Hana over the edge, and we see her now having this nosebleed as she actually passed out. And when Kiyoshi had like laid her on the ground, that's when Chiyo had like looked in there, and she saw him all alone, because she could not see Hana, because of course she could not forced herself up even more, to look in there properly. And so now we see that with the door unlocked, she actually heard that, and Chio was like actually gonna go in there, but that's when Kiyoshi, had to act quick, and we see him now somewhat giving himself away, because mainly that right there was for Chio to not come in yet. But pretty much Hannah here, I gotta say, I feel so bad for her, because this girl is like freaking broken. She was saying like she did not care anymore, and she was like going to go home, and you can see, right in her face, that this girl was like definitely shattered into pieces. And so right now she actually walks Kiyoshi, back to the cell. And so right now everything looks good, because, when those two had left the correction office, that right there, gave Chio the sign to do what she had to. And right now, before Hannah had locked them all in their cell, they all had, to go to the bathroom. And so now we see that because of that, that right there is where their plan, truly got started, as we learn later on. Oh, and also I will say, Anzu's punishment, even though that right there definitely caused her like to cry and seemingly, pass out, I will say if that was me, I definitely would not be complaining, because if you guys don't know, Mako, or the vice president, she is definitely my best girl in this show. And so for Anzu to like get punished that way, I will give her props though, for like not ratting her out. And so also we do have the president actually coming in there and asking, Mako what in the world was she doing. And so right now, after Hannah had, let them use the bathroom, she had messaged them that, obviously, she was going home now, because there's no way in the world she would like want to be there, especially after what Kiyoshi did. But right now, we have the other members, we have the president and Mako. Both of them were like feeling something was off. But when they actually went to go check on the prisoners, everything, seemed pretty normal. And so right now, they were thinking they had won, that these boys will be gone in the morning. And we see now that when like morning came, that's where we have Mako, coming to get them. And we actually see her, thinking about her time that she actually spent watching over these boys. And to me, I was thinking, is it possible that she actually got attached to them, and maybe she will like miss them? Because to me, that right there, would be rather surprising if Mako, or even Hannah at least, I actually got attached to these boys, and maybe, like eventually, we can see them all becoming friends. Well, maybe not Hannah, but it is possible that like we could see Mako become friends with them, because to me, I feel that would be like rather interesting. But now we see that, when they all went to the principal office, right now, the guys were like very quiet, because of course they cannot spring their trap just yet. And at first I was like wondering when was like Chio, going to appear with the data, because I thought, she had got it. But out of nowhere, we start seeing these girls, get attacked by someone. We have no idea who it is. And we see these girls, like beating the hell out of this guy. I feel bad for whoever this was getting attacked. And eventually now we have Kiyoshi pretty much stepping up, and that right there is where he slowly starts to reveal everything. And so we see now that these girls, eventually they had went to the principal office, and we see them now tall, seen, and four eyes. And so right now we learn that, that the way they did this is where they had Four Eyes, who was it, Joe and Chio. They all changed clothes. We have Joe impersonating Four Eyes, and we have Chio impersonating Joe. And that right there, let Four Eyes here do what he had to. And it was like definitely interesting, that the way that, Mako was the one who had realized this. And I will say, Joe can definitely pull off Four Eyes, any day. And it was brilliant, how Chio was there all this time, and yet, they could not figure it out. And so now when like everything was like being revealed to them, we have Four Eyes here who had pulled this, like, what's it called, this USB like port, whatever you want to call it. He had pulled it from his butt, and even though that was nasty, I definitely like the way that, like, instantly how they all just bonded with the principal. And so right now, we have him looking through the data, and of course he had found everything that they were saying was like true. And eventually, eventually we have the underground student council, wondering how in the world did he got pulled this off, because right now, they were saying that, that from the time Hannah had texted them, and from the time they had went there and checked on everyone, that right there was a 10-minute time difference. And the fact that that Four Eyes here had did this so fast seemed almost impossible. But of course, they also told them about, how they used the vice president so that way, when they were like having that arm wrestling contest, she was like being, distracted that way. And so right now they're like wondering how in the world she'll get in there. And obviously, everything, well, not everything, but Kyoji here pretty much using Hannah in that room, that right there was like kind of revealed, somewhat. And pretty much when Hannah here had realized that Kyoshi had used her and everything, was a joke, she had pretty much went crazy. And we see her now kicking him once, and Kiyoshi actually blocked it. And we do learn now that right there did, that right there actually broke his arm. That, like, the power behind that kick was like freaking insane. And so now we see that, Hannah here, she was like really gonna kill him, and we see her now, getting ready to punch him while he was on the ground. And then we actually have the vice president actually taking that punch for him. And to me, that right there was surprising. I was expecting for Mako to actually stop Hannah again like she did last time, but no, the president, she had realized that obviously that they lost. And so right now, we actually have the guys, being free. They are no longer in the prison. And I definitely like how we, get a wrap up, what happened to them after they left. Like we have Chio and Kiyoshi. Obviously they're a couple. We have Shingo and Anzu, they're a couple as well. We have Andre actually, getting girls to like beat him up like a punching bag, and that right there was like somewhat surprising. But obviously Andre here is definitely, messed up in the head. We have Four Eyes, who was like in a library getting ready to get a book, and we have a girl reaching forward as well. And when we have a Four Eyes, like now sneaking away, that girl obviously stopped them, and that right there was like the beginning of their friendship, and obviously probably a future, couple as well. And then we have Joe, who was happy as long as he had his aunts. And so right now, after everything had happened, we have the principal now being alerted of everything that the underground student council did, and of course, they cannot let that slide. And so now we see a girl with like talking to him, and this girl, actually reminds me of a character from another show, but that right there is like a whole combo, for another time. And so eventually now, everything they did can definitely, not be, like let by like nothing ever happened. Even though Kiyoshi did not, want to press charges or, get Hannah in trouble, there is just so much that it definitely cannot be overlooked. And we now have the underground student council now being sent to prison. And so obviously the girl that had brought everything to light to the principal, obviously there's like something, going on between her and the underground student council president. But I'm now guessing that this new girl is now in charge, since obviously there is no way that they could be in prison and still like rule the school this way. But we actually have this girl ripping up her uniform, and then we have Mako, getting angry obviously, and she like gonna stop her. But then we have this one girl who looks, like rather skinny, kind of pale, almost like a zombie kind of. We see her now with like this kendo sword, and so I'm wondering, is this girl a match for like Mako, because she was saying how like she was the strongest in the school, and I do wonder if this girl will like be a match for her. But apparently, or I'm guessing at least, that this new trio, they must be the new ones in charge now of the student council, or the underground student council, and they will like watch over watch over the former. And so right now, I did notice, or I do believe that Four Eyes' possible girlfriend in the future, I do believe she's also a part of the group as well. And to me, that right there was like also interesting. And so now we see that on the day that they went to prison, it was like raining, and you have everybody watching them. And so of course, we have the guys watching them as well. And I do wish that we could learn, what they were thinking, when they saw that. But right now, with them in prison, that right there is sadly where it ended. But overall, Prison School, this right here is definitely my favorite show of the summer anime. And even though I do not do ratings anymore, if I did have to pick one, I would give this final episode an 8 out of 10, and overall I would give Prison School a 9 out of 10. I would definitely recommend this, but of course now that the anime is over, and I don't believe that we will get a season 2 right away, but I do hope this show sells well enough that they might give us a season 2. But until then, I will definitely go read the manga. To be honest, I'll probably start now, after I get this review up. But of course, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on this, and please do not forget to like and subscribe, because that really helps me out. But as always, you guys take it easy, and I will see you all next time.